So in the 140 odd days between now and the presidential election, we're obviously going to be seeing a lot more of Donald Trump. If he wins the election, there's a fair chance we'll see a lot more of Scott Morrison. One thing the Albanese government is very focused on right now is what happens to Australia if Donald Trump wins the White House. Australia's ambassador to Washington is, of course, Kevin Rudd. Donald Trump gave an interview to Nigel Farage in March where Nigel Farage, who's a bit of a shit stirrer, asked Donald Trump what he thought of this Australian ambassador to Washington, Kevin Rudd, who'd made some pretty strident criticisms of Trump's style as president.
He won't be there long if that's the case. I don't know much about him. I heard he was a little bit nasty. I hear he's not the brightest bulb, but I don't know much about him. But if he's at all hostile, he will not be there long.
It's not clear that Donald Trump really knows who Kevin Rudd is. Malcolm Turnbull, former Prime Minister of Australia, wrote a piece in the US journal Foreign Affairs a few weeks ago about what it's like to deal with Trump in private. Wild, unpredictable, volatile, a person who craves sycophancy and doesn't like anyone who criticises him or his administration's policies. And in saying that, Scott Morrison, who succeeded Malcolm Turnbull, he was able to forge a very close relationship. We saw him in New York just a few weeks ago, meeting with Trump in the famous Trump Tower. The day after Morrison met with Trump in New York, he went to Washington, where Kevin Rudd launched Morrison's new book at a special event at the Australian Embassy. What was so interesting about that event wasn't just that here's Kevin Rudd launching Scott Morrison's book. It was the crowd of people that came to that book launch. These are some of the people that were the closest to Donald Trump when he was president, and we expect some of these people to figure prominently in a second Trump administration if that comes to pass. We all know that Anthony Albanese is a great political fighter. He's a great hater. And of all the opponents he's had over the years, I think Scott Morrison probably figures at the top of that list. Does that mean, though, that if Scott Morrison has a strong line of communication to a future President Donald Trump, would Anthony Albanese take advantage of that? I think he might find a way to put aside whatever differences he has with Morrison and take advantage of that relationship.